Let's bring in Helima Croft. She's a CNBC contributor and global head of commodity strategy at RBC Capital Markets. Helima, it's good to see you again. I know there's a very important OPEC meeting that's coming up on July 1st. What does that mean for the price of oil and the energy patch in general as we try to position in front of that?
I mean, absolutely. I think this is going to be an exceptionally important OPEC meeting on July 1st. I mean, oil was hit yesterday by the broad commodity macro sell-off triggered by the hawkish Fed statements and Chinese action to potentially curb the commodities upside story. But, oil has a strong fundamental backdrop. And we really are seeing, strong U.S. demand, strong mobility data. The global reopening is still really supportive for oil. And the big question mark is going to be, what does OPEC do? I mean, part of the reason for the recovery today as well was reports that shale production is supposed to grow next year, but at a relatively muted pace. So the question is, will OPEC, which is basically sitting on a cut of almost 6 million barrels a day, will they start putting supply back on this market?
And Iran, of course, is a really big player in the world when it comes to oil, and there's a presidential election going on. How could the outcome influence the world oil markets?
I mean, this is a big variable for OPEC planners as they look out to the back half of the year. I mean, Iran is sitting on, potentially 1 million extra barrels of exports that they could bring back onto this market. Nuclear negotiations are ongoing in Vienna, but the team that's leading those negotiations in Iran, they are not going to be in power after August. And the election today in Iran is expected to produce a very hardline government. Now, the supreme leader of Iran has seemingly blessed these negotiations, but the real issue is if you don't get a deal done before this government leaves office in August, are you not having those barrels back on the market? And will the market be tighter? And that's the question mark for OPEC. When do you start bringing those barrels back? The Saudi oil minister was out this week talking about the need to remain cautious, that we're not out of the woods. But you have a number of producers like Russia, Iraq. They're very eager to put more barrels on this market.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.